Okay guys, so today we're making an Irish cream cake. These are the basic ingredients you will need. You'll need the 1 box of cake mix. You'll need 1 package of instant vanilla pudding. You'll need 4 eggs, a cup of Irish cream, chopped walnuts. You'll also need the confectioner's sugar for the glaze that goes on the cake. These are subsequent ingredients you'll need. Okay, we're going to need all these products today. Set that aside for now. So, essentially start by opening up the cake batter, toss in the box. That's not how you do it though. Bachelors, remember, boxes don't go in your food. They don't go in your food. That's rule 1. We're going to try to idiot-proof this for you today. Okay? So inside the box, there's a bag. The bag does not go in your food either. Got that? The bag doesn't go in your food. Set that aside. I'm mostly going to follow this recipe on the back, except for a few modifications. Mostly the booze. Okay, so now we got a few containers out to do things. You're going to need a measuring cup like this, or if you need to get one of these, you'll need 1 cup. First off, cake batter, or at least the cake mix. Take it. It's white cake mix, so you're only going to use egg whites, no yolks, which we'll show you how to do that in just a second. Get that in there. Ooh. Going to take 1 box of pudding. Put that up out of the box, and then out of the bag. Take this nice powdery stuff and pour it into the bowl. Okay, simple guys. What I like to do, get done with that, cram all that into the big box. Save you a little bit of cleanup, don't have to take the trash out as often. Okay, get that all sifted down in there, good to go. Take your Irish cream, and you're going to want to pour 1 cup. Out. We're using Carolinians today. You can use Bailey's, you can use Arrow, whatever. And pour yourself 1 cup. There you go. Now I'll say this because you're going to need more. Okay, so it asks for egg whites, so here's the simplest way to do it. A lot of people use the sifting back and forth method. I hate that. It's so much easier to do it like this. Take your egg, crack it open, slowly rip that out. Take out the top off there, right? The egg's running out. Just take it in your hand. So we've already done 1. But I'll show it off again just so that way you're sure. Take 1, crack it open. There we go. And you want to make sure you catch the yolk in the shell. Drain it a little bit. And then just catch that yolk with your fingers. Shake it back and forth until all the egg whites through. Take your other container and you drop the yolk right in. Clean and simple. You want to do this 4 times. Okay, so once you've separated all your eggs, you're going to have about 4 egg yolks like that left over. Not a ton that I can really suggest you do. Personally, what I like to do is toss them in a pan with a little bit of butter and cook them up like a fried egg, and you have and toss on some bread. You have a really nice sandwich filling. You can boil them like a poached egg. I'll be doing a video on that one later. But yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to grab a spatula or use your hands or whatever. You you have all this mix here. There's gonna be some lumps in there. What you're gonna want to do is just sift it around a little bit and break up some of those big clumps, so that way you don't have to worry about it being so rough when you're mixing up all the other things. And that way it'll fold together when you're running it through the mixer. And remember, you're making these things to impress girls. For us, it's Super Bowl weekend. We're making a cake with booze. Girls are gonna like a cake with booze, but you have to make sure that that cake tastes good and dunk up those little bits of hard, cake mix and batter in there, because that just doesn't get them excited. Okay, so next up is you're gonna want to get some pecans. You can grab some walnuts. We're using pecans today, and your favorite food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor because you live in a dorm or you're a bachelor, or why would you not own a food processor? It's incredibly useful. Grab a hammer, or a rock, or your local textbook, or find a fat guy down the hall at the dorm. Just something heavy and hard. Use a grocery store bag or a bag like this. Dump in about 3/4 of a cup. Just go to town. Get all that aggression out. So we're going to do this. And this is why we need to hire in. This is why. There we go. They're tricky. Use all 3/4 cup. A few more. Okay. Now we're going to use the food processor because we have one here. Dump it in there. And you want it to be rather fine in there. Mostly because of the fact that, that's about right. So now we got our walnuts ready. And now we get to start to let the magic happen. Okay, so one last ingredient you're going to need is 1/3 cup of veggie oil. You can use olive oil. Either one will do. Personally, we're using veggie oil because it's cheap. And considering that you're a bachelor, I'm guessing you probably don't have a lot of money to work with. And hey, we're trying to impress girls on a budget. So we have all of our ingredients. We have our nuts, egg whites, our Irish Creme, in this case Carolyn's. And then we have all of our dry ingredients over here, which would be our pudding mix and our cake mix. So you wanted to have it all nice and kind of sifted out a little bit. Dig a little hole in the middle, so that way you have a place for all the fluids to go. Now, take all your wet ingredients, and you want to pour them in. You're going to want to have an electric beater. These are incredible because it's going to save your arms a lot of time, and then you're not going to have to worry about later on in the night when you have to take care of yourself because you're so very alone. Alright, so let's get all of our wet ingredients mixed and let the magic begin. Okay, so after you're done mixing, you're going to take your cake batter and your spatula, and you're going to want to get a 13x9 pan. I realize this isn't 13x9, but it's the pan that I have. Again, bachelor. And you just mix it down into the pan. Spatula helps you get everything out of there. It's flexible. Get into all those nice little rounded corners. Okay, so after you're done mixing, you're going to take your cake batter in your spatula, and you're going to want to get a 13 by 9 pan. I realize this isn't 13 by 9, but it's the pan that I have. Again, bachelor. And just mix it down into the pan. Spatula helps you get everything out of there. Because it's flexible, you get into all those nice little rounded corners. Okay, so as you can see here, we have it set to 350 degrees. We've preheated the oven, so we've let the cake batter settle. It should look about like that, nice and flat. Open it up, center rack for 29 to 30 minutes. Now mind you, this is after you have your nice egg yolk milkshake. Okay, for your glaze, you're going to need 7 teaspoons of butter, which is all but 1 teaspoon of butter on a stick. Pack that off there. The sticks are nice because of the fact that, well, they're rather idiot proof. You just take a stick of butter, cut it where the measurements are, dispose of the rest, toss this in a baked potato, whatever. So, medium heat?
Yes.
Medium heat. We'll go 5 instead. Okay. So you want that and your water getting nice and cozy inside this nice small saucepan. At the same time, with my secret, you're going to want to get ready 1.5 cups of sugar, obviously into. Hooray for jump cuts. Okay, so you want to don't use the same spatula that you used to mix everything because of the fact that it will melt. So grab something that's stovetop safe, say a metal spatula. I'm using a wooden thing here. And chop up the butter a little bit in there. Speeds up the melting process. Just make sure it's nice and melted. You're going to bring this to until the butter is melted. We also measured out 1/2 cup of more of the Irish Creme to add to the glaze, but we're not going to add that quite yet. So yeah, just wait until it's nice and everything's nice and melted. Okay, so now you're going to want to slowly sift in your sugar, a little bit at a time, stirring constantly. Still do not add the Irish Creme because we're going to bring this to a boil now. And if you want, you can up the heat a little bit, but just keep stirring it as it boils. Okay, so now you got it up to boiling. Once it's up to boiling, just kind of stir it, make sure that it doesn't boil over. And just boil it for about 3 minutes. That way, everything cooks down, everything cooks together, everything congeals nicely, and then what you'll do is you'll add the Irish Creme, which we'll get to in a second. Okay, it's been 3 minutes. So you take it, just move it off the heat, move it over here, turn off your heat source, take your Irish Creme, add, and make a nice caramel color in there. Stir it up and then let it sit for a couple minutes. Wait for your cake to be finished. It's been 29 minutes. Ooh, nice and warm. Yeah. Pull that out, and I'll show you how to test it. Okay. So to test to see if your cake is done, you either use a toothpick, or as I'm using a fork, find a nice thick spot in the cake, straight in, straight out. Came out clean. If there's crumbs in it, then it's not quite done, you're going to have to start over. Or at least put it back in for maybe another 5 minutes. So before we add the glaze, we put a couple holes in here, so that way the glaze can get down into the cake and really add some flavor. Make sure to keep your pop holders nearby, because next thing you're going to do, take the glaze, slowly pour it all over the cake. All over that cake. Glaze it just like one of those ladies you happen over for the Super Bowl party. Go. Let it cool. Glaze is going to congeal. You got yourself a delicious Irish cream cake. This is, yeah, I cooked too. This is a Bailey's Irish cream cake, or in this case, a Carolyn's Irish cream cake. Yeah, try to stop me.
So this is the pilot of the show, Yeah, I Cooked Too. And I thank you for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Going to be trying to do more of this stuff soon. Yeah, it's kind of rough. Leave your comments, please. It'd be wonderful. I want to thank Kevin MacLeod for use of his music, Acid Trumpet. I want to thank Cairo for letting me use his house and his kitchen and be able to get things all worked out and for the recipe. So if you could subscribe, rate, like. Do we even rate on YouTube anymore? Anyway, yeah, if you guys want to see more of this, let me know in the comments. I'll try to do more. And thanks for watching.